So you have to ask yourself, is it possible with this new... wait a minute. Looks like I'm getting a call. Could it be from an extraterrestrial? Let's pick it up and find out, baby. Hello? Skull! I was hoping it was you, baby. Yes. Yes. I do know that Artisan DX Joker from Hot Toys came out. Right, and it's been out for 30 years already in your reality. In an alternate universe. Really, we could expect other versions of this Heath Ledger Artisan Joker. Really. Well, do tell. Really, maybe a bank robber version without the makeup? You don't say. Well, of course, the nurse version. I do know that. Yes, I am aware about the art. What is the Artisan Anakin coming out, Skull? Wow, any minute. And dark side version, and maybe another version besides a dark side version? Listen, Skull. Well, listen, you're hearing it right here. Is the Artisan Anakin about to get officially released from Hot Toys? Are we going to get a dark side version? Are we going to get even a different version outside of that? And what about Heath Ledger? What about that Artisan Joker? It has hit the wait list. We're going to go break that down, the sculpted version, within this episode for sure. But what about other variations? What does it say in the stars? Let's crack it open. Look at them shaking and baking, baby. And it's going to cost a lot of bacon for all these artisan and in our toys. Look at all those stars. Let's suck down the knowledge. And let's dive into all of this right now. Right, and welcome everyone to another episode of The Market Show. I believe this is episode 5 of this new season of The Market Show. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, baby. And before we get into this Joker and some, that has hit the wait list, an update on Indiana Jones, and now instead of it being almost sold out, as I pointed out in last week's episode, it was not a false alarm. It has now hit the wait list. And you have to ask yourself, with this deluxe version and collector version already hitting the wait list, is this going to be a highly sought out after piece in the secondary market? And I say, yes. Remember, the boots are leather. The jacket is leather. This is a really, really good piece. It is next level with the materials, with the head sculpt, with the rolling eyes. This thing is absolutely sick in every regard. It is now waitlisted. Is it going to come out officially released anyway? Get officially released before the end of the year? Well, you can see it's the priming for it here. It's completely gone, and I'm blowing this up onto the screen. It says November 24, to December 24. And is it possible that this is going to get officially released before the end of the year? And I say yes. That's 2 yeses already within this episode of the Market Show. Wow, wow, wow. It is gone. Join the waitlist if you really wanted this figure and you're like, darn, I thought it was going to hang around for a little McBit. It probably will, or it might convert, because when the piper calls and it's time to pay for all of these figures, what a lot of collectors are finding out within this hobby is that they just can't collect all of these figures at these astronomical prices. This is $335, not bad. And when you look at everything that it comes with, especially this deluxe version with this base, this is a sick one, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely sick. And now let's go ahead and take a look at another item that has waitlisted out of nowhere. And we all know the Artisan edition of the DX Joker here has waitlisted, limited to just 4,000 pieces. I'll kind of blow that up so you can see it a little bit here. Right there on the screen, you can see it says Collector Edition, Hot Toys, 4,000 pieces. Wow. That's with the Artisan edition. But when you go to the sculpted hair, it has also now hit the waitlist. And look, this also says November to December 2024 here on the screen. So that kind of points to where they're also anticipating the Harrison Ford Indiana Jones from the Dial of Destiny that I just had up as well. And I do think that that one you're going to see any day get officially released. And I can't wait to see those production photos. But breaking news right here. Not only is Indiana Jones, the deluxe edition, now gone, hit the waitlist, but now the collector edition, the sculpted hair version of this Joker, has also hit the waitlist. And I think that they hit their quota of everything that they were going to sell on this sculpted version right off the gate. And I could tell you what, we first got a glimpse of how good this was and how good this was going to be when they went ahead and they gave us this variation of the Batman Imposter version, which is limited to 3,000 pieces. And it's the same exact head sculpt minus a couple of little miscolor. I think the DX one has maybe a little bit lighter red in the lips and the scar area, a little bit different, slightly different freckles or specks under the eye, but it's essentially the same thing. But that's actually pretty good. I think they're articulating and showing here with this particular version, perhaps a different scene. Maybe the jail scene, with Christian Bale with this head sculpt, versus what we see right here. Very, very slight, the same exact thing, but you could actually get both of these figures. But with these slight variations, is it possible, besides the breaking news that now the sculpted version is out of, on the wait list, that we could be getting another variation besides this Batman Imposter version that we already received? And I have this one, and let me tell you, I love this figure. It looks absolutely sensational. And the spray paint job on the Christian Bale batsuit for this thing is a very, very good use of reusing the same tooling, same stuff that they have. But look, there is... What about without the makeup? Would they do this? And listen, before you say no, I must point out that they're coming out with everything that you could even imagine. And they spent a lot of R&D development, resources, money into crafting this new Heath Ledger Joker which in my view, and if you didn't see my review on the Artisan, Joker, and that head sculpt, that I did, you want to check it out. In my view, right now, and I have the in-art Aragorn, rooted hair, and I have the in-art Gandalf, which only comes with rooted hair. And I've got some figures. And I dare say, the best head sculpt probably ever created commercially is the Hot Toys Heath Ledger Joker. It is absolutely next level. And in my view right now, Hot Toys is absolutely king. And on the top, the reigning champion for probably the best commercially produced head sculpt of all time. Because this thing is uncanny. But you have to wonder. And if that's the case, and me personally, I believe it is the case, would they use it for other variations to capitalize more, even without the makeup? And I say yes. And now that's 3 yeses within this episode. Why not? Why not? You got the scarring? You got the eyes? Gosh, this outfit's easy. And you could do this. You absolutely could do this for sure. And listen, it can be a novelty piece. Well, how many people would buy it? I don't know. They're only coming out with a several thousand of these things anyway. Whether that's several thousands, a couple thousand, 1,500 or even less, or as much as 4,000, like this DX Heath Ledger Joker here. And when you look at that Joker and you look at the Hot Toys one, it is sick how good this head sculpt is. How much it looks like Heath Ledger. But sure, why couldn't they just go ahead and do this? They're giving you every version of the Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark Iron Man that you could think of. Is it possible that they would start doing this with Heath Ledger? Especially because it's a home run? Especially because a lot of people feel like I do about how great this head sculpt is? Sure, pause. Chew on that. Hit the like button, baby. And don't forget to comment on everything that I'm talking about here. Love to hear from you. And don't forget to sub. Hit that subscribe button if this is the first time you're watching. Cheers. Stars keep moving. Gotta suck down the knowledge of what's going on. Yeah. And look, I think someone said to me before or left a comment, they would never do this. Hot Toys would never do the nurse. Why? The freaking movie company did. It's commercially produced. It's in the movie. Why wouldn't they do it? They come out with every horror movie character or every different type of character. Why? They would definitely put this out in my view. And honestly, this is easy. This is so easy to do this. And again, another reason to buy what I consider to be the best head sculpt of all time. Look. And Hot Toys is known to reuse molds over again. And what have they been doing? They've been coming out with more and more announcements, less production of these announcements, with more 2.0s. God, we've been seeing a ton of that. And an absolute myriad, gargantuan ton of variations. And samples recently, like this Heath Ledger, Batman imposter version that we got, even before this DX one that just got officially released last week. And just like with the Clone Wars General Obi-Wan Kenobi, with the Mandalorian disguise Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Clone Wars as well. And I think they're going to continue to keep doing this over and over again. And honestly, it's a lot more profitable than at this point, where expendable income is not as prevalent for a lot of collectors, and a lot of collectors who have left hobbies like this because there's just not enough expendable income in this absolutely volatile global economy right now. And I've talked about this before. You know, this is how Hot Toys is making their money right now. They used to be able to produce 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 copies of, maybe even more, 50 to 100,000 copies. It's just not possible right now in this economy. So they're, coming out with, 1,500 here, another 1,500 here. With this piece, they came out with 4,000. Okay, with the rooted hair. And then they gave you another 3,000 with the imposter version. They gave you 4,000 of the regular one right here. Okay? And they gave you 3,000 of this imposter version right here. Okay? So that's 7,000. That's 7,000 right there. And then probably with the sculpted hair, and I don't necessarily believe that the sculpted hair is more produced than either of these two. As a matter of fact, I dare say it was probably less of this collector edition than the artisan edition here. But let's say 3,000. So that's a total of 10,000 already. So instead of coming out with one figure, okay, where they're holding on to stock because you've got 10,000 of the same thing, okay, now all of a sudden they did it with 3 different variations. But again, if they want to come out with 15,000 variations, 15,000 using these different R&D work, well, you could come out with a couple of thousand, which would absolutely sell out of the Joker right here. So let's say 2,000 of this. That's 12,000. And if you want to do one with this nurse, 3,000. That's 15,000 pieces. Absolutely insane. But the breaking news here is that with this Artisan Joker, this collector edition with the sculpted hair, gone. That's it. On the waitlist. And also, as aforementioned, Indiana Jones, whether it's the collector edition that has been on waitlist for a while, or this deluxe edition, it is also gone as well. And now we are going to talk about this right here, which obviously has been on the wait list. Pause, though. I need another drink of knowledge, baby. Cheers to you. Go ahead, smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Appreciate your support, baby. So staying with variations, is this the only variation of this figure that you're going to get? Because for whatever reason, they're just, we don't want to make money off this. We wanted to spend all this R&D. We only want to do that with Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor. We only want to do that with Heath Ledger and the Joker. We only want to do that with Elizabeth Olsen and the Scarlet Witch, and with Scarlett Johansson and the Black Widow, and with Robert Downey Jr. and Tamora Morrison. We're not going to do any of this, Anakin. Nope, we don't want to make any extra money off this. We don't, because if you're saying that they're not, that's kind of what you're thinking, which possible. I just don't see it, at least in this reality. Maybe in a different reality with the 13th Skull, they wouldn't do that. Although we just heard from his reality, though. I think he has many of them. That there's actually more than, there's like a few variations already of this. This is just limited to 3,000. Why is there not a sculpted version yet? And you have to wonder, has all of it have to do with this figure totally being planned and in preparation to have these purrs, these gorgeous purrs, which are put inside the head sculpt here to have that Sith eye color, swap those 2 eyeballs out, and they don't have to really change anything else. I think they would change the wording on the base a little bit, and that's all you would really have to do with this figure. Um, Gosh, it is just so easy. And how many of those would they come out with? They saw how many of this figure that they were able to sell so quickly. And could they be coming out with a sculpted version of this figure, dark side version, and give you an artisan dark side version? It is very, very possible. They also may not give you sculpted at all. And why do you say that, Aries? I say that because with the Scarlett Johansson Black Widow, they didn't give you a sculpted version. But they gave you 6,000 of her. Okay? They gave you 6,000 of the Scarlet Witch by giving you 4,000 with an accessory. Okay, not the Scarlet Witch, but the Black Widow. 4,000 of the accessory. But since I said that Scarlet Witch, I just want to bring her up. I just love this figure. And I'm bringing that up because it says November 24 to March 2025. I don't necessarily think it's going to be able to come out before the holidays. I think it's going to come out first quarter of next year, but you never know. You never know how production's going and with what Hot Toys is doing. But gosh, what a Christmas it would be. Speaking of dark side eyes, there's just so many ways that they can go ahead and do this dark side version. Doesn't this make you think when you go ahead and look at that? But again, with that Black Widow, you had 4,000 with the that gauntlet, whatever, from Thanos. And then they gave you an extra 2,000 that didn't have that accessory. But honestly, it's the same figure. And it's 6,000 of those. So maybe with this Anakin, baby, maybe that's what you're talking about. You do have to wonder. I need more drink. Pause. Let's kind of blow that up a little bit. God, I love that head sculpt. I mean, these things are just becoming... I think the Heath Ledger Joker, again, is the best head sculpt of all time right now. But if this comes out like this, I mean, this literally, like that Heath Ledger Joker from Hot Toys, this literally looks like a picture of him from the film. This does not look like a toy. And I mentioned this in the last show. Go to Times Square, go anywhere, and go take go do some polling. Go survey 1,500. Go get a sampling, okay, of some data. And go see how many people say that this is a toy. This does not look like a toy. Okay, the hair looks too realistic. And that's the thing with this rooted hair. Not just the wool hair, which is an upgrade from regular hair, or as people like to call it, Barbie hair. This is high quality hair that Hot Toys uses. And InArt uses high quality hair as well. But this is implanted. Okay? This is with implantation technology. Very, very tedious. Putting this around the scalp. And, gosh. A dark side version of Anakin Skywalker. Is it coming? And I say yes. And what about a different version? Even another version outside of that. Well, I can tell you how they could do it. Remember he appeared in the Obi-Wan series, and remember he appeared in the Ahsoka show. There's many different variations I think that you can do of an evil Anakin, even type of a hybrid. You know, with the Darth Vader suit, whether from the Vision or some type of, you know, what if, or, you know, just concept, because they're doing these concepts. But I don't believe when they come out with the dark side version of this, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to be limited to only that, and that's it forever with this. And we're going to have to keep an eye on the sculpted version as well. I just wish they would have used leather on this, like the Indiana Jones. I have no idea why. And honestly, I'm already paying. It's $415. Gosh, charge me $515 and give me leather. It wouldn't be that much, but make it $475. Who cares? But don't worry, there'll be other versions for sure. All right. So speaking of these artisan figures, these new figures that, whether they're artisan or not, that are just next level from Hot Toys, from InArt, let's take a look at some things that are going on here for sure. And I'm going to pull this up onto the screen. Speaking of artisan, speaking about next level, speaking about the best Gal Gadot Wonder Woman that you're going to find anywhere. And I am going to point this out, and I'm trying to show it to you on the screen of where this just sold right here. Here it is, November 9 at 6:34 a.m. And the last one from Tim Cent sold at $1,280 McDollars. That's how sought after this is. And listen, I've seen some reviews out there, or I've seen a review where, you could kind of put this with Wonder Woman. If you put you put the Superman from InArt with Wonder Woman, can you imagine putting it, though, with this Wonder Woman? My goodness. And honestly, this is what these next level figures are going for. This is absolutely next level Gal Gadot likeness. And this figure is absolutely sick and unbelievable. And this figure, even when they come out with one that will surpass this, will always be the Warner Brothers 101 and will always be limited to just 1,500 pieces. And when you combine those things together, those attributes that make up what really is the value, what makes up the value for this, it makes it track towards the price that you're seeing here. And you're seeing figures that are next level and figures that are limited, that have limited production, and that can't be produced in that exact variation ever again. You're seeing them track for prices that are like this. And quite frankly, some of the pieces from the past that now have just, they don't hold up to what these new standards from the past couple of years. Okay? This boom, if you will, of innovation, thanks to InArt a lot, and what Hot Toys is doing and what these companies are doing, making these head sculpts closer to the human likeness that we've never seen before, using rooted hair to make it look like it's actually hair on a scalp of a human being, okay, using materials and just putting in a lot of character to these figures that are making them look real, okay, that are making them look, when you look at this cover over here, that is actually a picture of the artisan Wonder Woman from Hot Toys that you're seeing right on here. That's what this is. And that is Wonder Woman. And that is Gal Gadot. And I got her right behind me, baby. And it is absolutely sensational. But that's what you're seeing a lot with this market stuff. And then you're seeing a lot of these next level figures that are hitting next level, likeness, go for big prices like this, staying with DC. And this piece would go great with that Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, not other past, it wouldn't, it would look out of place. But you put this guy here, this in-art Superman, which you see a lot going for just, $500 and just selling left and right, at that price. And, what did it have? The retail price of, I guess, around 400 in a lot of places. I mean, you get it like Big Bad Boy Store. I think it was more like 550, depending on where you get this. But look, I don't have a problem with these prices. Like the retail price of 400 or that for this. It's next level. A lot of these figures are next level. Hot Toys, a lot more robust distribution channel, a lot more production, a lot more, streams, I think, of income coming in for the 6 scale anyway on this, where they're able to be very competitive on their pricing, but eventually it's going to catch up. I mean, this economy and the price of materials and inflation, it's just where these prices are going to be. But that's what you're seeing these things go for. And then when you're taking a look at figures that are passé, at figures from the past, and I'm going to pull these up onto the screen so you could go ahead and take a look. And I'll pull this up right here. And this was up, and this is a DX10, beautiful Schwarzenegger, $290 and not a bite. Are you kidding me? Why? Well, because we're going to start getting a bunch of different variations of Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Terminator now. And, you're seeing the same thing with a DX13. Did you ever think you'd see the day where a DX13 would go for $258 US? Right here highlighting, with only $43 in US shipping. With the T2 accessory, my goodness, that's it. But why? Because it doesn't hold up to these new figures like that in-art Superman, like that Artisan Hot Toys Heath Ledger Joker. This is next level, baby. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger in all of his glory. And you're seeing a lot of the figures from the past not holding their value. And because Hot Toys is starting to do what I thought they were going to do, come out with more and more announcements, less production of announcements, and more 2.0s, people are anticipating you're just basically going to get almost a 2.0 of every prior DX. And every figure that, is selling in the secondary market. Don't think they won't come out with a Yondu that's going to have a rolling eyes function and just be superior. Because they're going to. Same thing with the original trilogy, Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi. All the original trilogy figures. They're all going to redo all of these again. And I think some collectors are starting to get the idea that this is going on. And it's not just with Star Wars, it's with everything. Because they keep improving the Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. head sculpts. And, I mean, look, I just put this up on the screen. And this is what people in the secondary market, even on eBay here, have to put up with this figure that goes for what, $445 or something dollars? At $249.99, or a best offer, with an outstanding seller with 338 feedback, all 100% positive. Pausing for some wizard juice, baby. And look, I've said this before, and and I don't care what anybody says. There's not a whole lot of collectors jumping into this hobby in this economy. There's just not. Okay, it's rough out there. What used to be 8 bags of groceries, you're now walking out with 3 to 4. Okay, and everybody's feeling it unless you're very, very rich. And if you are rich, that's great. I'm not. Collecting's down. Everything's down. And a lot of people that I talk to are feeling it. And there's just not a whole lot to buy everything in the past like the way that it was, even before COVID. And I think the production numbers are not necessarily, you can't just relate this, their production numbers like when Rogue One came out, or like when The Force Awakens came out, or like when The Last Jedi came out. They're probably making the same runs as like Chirrut Imwe and Jyn Erso. No, I don't think so. I think they're way, way less. As a matter of fact, I think Hot Toys is revealing their hands. I think they're revealing their hand when they put out figures like these artisan ones. For instance, like this Jack Sparrow. Okay? And they say it's 4,000 pieces. Because you can't convince me that this deluxe version or this collector edition, which is already waitlisted, is anywhere near that number of 4,000. You can't. Okay? And I'm telling you right now, in my view, from everything I'm seeing on the trends, those Rogue One figures, those older figures from the past, as low as they may have been, the figures coming out today are, in my view, and from what I'm seeing with these trends, way, way less production. And look, you can, when you sort everything out, best-selling wise, on Sideshow, using them for instance, I don't think that let's see. Well, of course, Boba Fett. Boba Fett is number one. Boba Fett is number one again. It happened, but happens before, happens again. Look at this Boba Fett. Number one. But what I'm trying to get to here, and I don't think these are sold out. Let me go on the next page. And what I'm trying to get to is this gold, this right here, okay? Limited to 2,000 pieces. And it's been up for weeks. And it still has not sold out. How much production are they making of these nowadays? And I'm telling you right now, it's great for collectability. And I'm going to get into that here. But when you look at some of these figures that are around her, okay, like the deluxe version of this Jack Sparrow that's hanging out down over here that we're waiting to waitlist. Probably waiting there. He reached a quota because I don't think it was anywhere near what the number is going to be as to the 4,000 regular ones. I don't think there's that many of them. Okay? I really, really don't. And when you look at some of these figures that haven't been in stock for a long time, that are down here, the Samurai Predator, gosh, I wonder what the number is on that. Goodness gracious. Continuing to go down. Mandalorian Super Commander, gosh, not that many. Not that many at all. Gosh, Beetlejuice, that didn't go as high as I thought. I thought that would be number one. But I guess that's going to be very niche. I mean, yeah, I mean, you could look at this Joker right here. Here's another comparison. So, which is really more limited? Okay, and this is what I'm trying to drive at. There was only 4,000, limited to just 4,000. This Artisan Joker Joaquin Phoenix. Oh my God, only 4,000. There ain't no way in any universe, even a universe from the 13th Skull, that the sculpted version is going to be more pieces than that. And that, baby, is what I'm driving at. Pause. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe the first time you're watching. You're watching The Dark Jedi and the fifth episode of this season of The Market Show. Cheers. And I don't know. I watch a lot of people's stuff live and stuff like that. And I was watching something this past week, and I don't know, some show was talking about, what is Hot Toys doing, coming out with the, what do you mean, what are they doing? There's not a lot of market to sell, because the channel creators and the people who follow me and some people that are in here are all that's collecting these things right now. You keep regurgitating the same people, recycling. So you got to keep coming out with stuff for us to keep buying, which is why you're getting so many variations. You know, what do you mean, what is Hot Toys doing when they're coming out with all these releases? They're trying to make money. Well, no crap. Of course they're trying to make money. It's the only way to make money, because there's just not that many collectors right now in this economy. Okay, it's cause and effect. It's what's going on. It's very, very simple. You don't need a deep dive into it. How many people you know outside at work? How many people you know in your family? How many people you know that you hang out with at whatever bar or wherever you go? How many people you know at the bingo hall? It's like, oh yeah, I just bought a $500 figure. Yeah, I've got 3 more $400 figures coming. Yeah, I just bought this one a week ago. Yeah. No one's doing that except us. Who's doing that? Oh yeah, I can't put gas in my car, but I just put an NRD, non-refundable deposit, here on this Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Get the heck out of here. They ain't happening that much. So what's going on is they're starting to limit to what's going on. Now, when this economy heals, absolutely. When it gets better, there's going to be more diving in. Just like it was in the past. What happens before will happen again. But it ain't happening right now, baby. It just isn't. Okay? Which is why look, I got to go to the original listing. How many of those Ahsokas from the Ahsoka series? Look, the series did okay. It's not The Mandalorian at all. I know you may watch a couple of channels where this was great, and it is great, but it's not The Mandalorian. The new Ahsoka series, okay? $245, nothing. And this has been sold out. Nothing. Let's put this up on the screen. Let's keep mixing up the different IPs. Iron Strange. Great seller. 14,545 feedback, and wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, 100% positive. Yeah, it's a $400 figure. Not a bite yet at $289. Okay. And not only that, these figures, the next Doctor Stranges are going to blow away these old ones. And look what else is suffering. You know, if you look at the new Return of the Jedi, you got the new Return of the Jedi Vader that's going to soon be surpassing the quarter scale in sales. And when you're seeing this here on the screen, another outstanding seller with 360 feedback, all 100% positive. $295. Now the shipping I think is high. Yeah, $89, but basically under $400 for this figure. Why? Because this head sculpt, even though it's so big, it pales in comparison to this new level. This new level of what we're seeing here with these figures. And let's see if I have an example of a Vader. And I might not, but maybe I do. Let's see. Darth Vader, Return of the Jedi. That's MMS 700. Well, the one with all the nooks and cranny, right? But that's selling just phenomenally. Super, super good. Here you go. 28 bids. It's not even over yet. I thought this was over. Wow. Outstanding seller. 11,384 feedback. All 100% positive. Ends in 51 minutes while I'm recording this. Already up to $345 with 28 bids. Why weren't more people bidding on that quarter scale version or more? Because it's not as good as this smaller version, which is next level. And collectors want the very best that is out there. Not all of them, but a vast majority of them do. They collect these toys to get the very, very best. I've heard some things about, well, I'm okay with, the Joker that I have. I'm not going to get the Artisan one. Well, for the vast majority of opinions, you don't have the best one. And you could say, well, it's my opinion that it's not better than that the Hot Toys one is not better than the Inart one. Okay. And it could be your opinion that the quarter scale Vader is better than this, but it's not the majority opinion. Look, and this is not including the $12.10 in shipping. Collectors, for the most part, they want the very best. And then when you hold on to these older figures, they're just... I'm going to throw this up here on the screen. And this ended at $116. For Thor. $116. That's it. Here's something that's going to blow your mind. Here's a Han and Chewie 2-pack from an outstanding seller with 318 feedback. All 100% positive. A lot of the older figures where you got a new Chewbacca now, which is far superior to this Chewbacca. And you got a Han Solo that looks just like the way he looked, hair and all. Poofy hair and all. Just like he did in Return of the Jedi. And you're seeing Han Solo suffer. You're seeing Han suffer. You're seeing these old trilogy figures suffer. Because they're coming out with all these 2.0s of all these DXs. And these 2.0s of all these Marvel figures. And you have to ask yourself, are they really not good at 2.0? This Han and Chewbacca? And I say, of course they're going to 2.0 this. So why spend $1,000 on it? Why spend $1,000 on it? And then figures from old, they're just not a lot. Everybody already has the Mud Trooper and wants the Mud Trooper. Already has the Mud Trooper. Looks like somebody has it in their cart, but just $285. Because there's new stuff coming out now that as good as this head sculpt is, It's inferior to what Hot Toys is putting out today. It is absolutely inferior. You can't even compare this head sculpt, okay, of this Han Solo to the new Moff Gideon that is out there right now. And let's see if I can pull that up quick. I mean, it's not even on the same planet to what they're doing now at Days. And collectors want the very best. And I'm seeing a lot of the older figures being passed up, not being bid on as high. And a lot of these newer figures, collectors are gravitating to. Because why is it that you come to Hot Toys? What do you come to Hot Toys for? You come for what you're seeing on the screen. You're coming for the very best in human likeness that you can get. And that's why people are going to InArt, right? That's why people are buying the InArt Superman, for instance, or the InArt Lord of the Rings figures. Okay? That's why they're buying them. Why did people buy the InArt Joker? Because the InArt Joker destroyed all the previous Hot Toy Jokers and any other Heath Ledger Jokers. And then Hot Toys answered with a Joker that is very arguably, and in my opinion, absolutely better than the InArt version. And when you keep coming out with better versions and something that looks more realistic, that's why you're spending $300, $400, $500, $600 on these figures. Because you don't want the second best. You don't want the worst stuff that's out there. You're not going to be paying that for an SH Figure Arts figure. Why? Because it's not up to par with InArt. It's not up to par with Hot Toys. Okay? So I understand the argument that some collectors don't care. I know collectors that don't care. You're right, they don't care. But a lot of collectors, the majority do, that pay buku bucks for these figures, hundreds of dollars, and work really hard to save all this money like we all do to buy these figures. You want the very best. You don't want to call, oh yeah, this is my collection. Oh yeah, but Collector Johnny has, his collection is better than yours because he's got the ones that look even more human. Some people won't care, but that's, so you got to know, if you want to hold on to your old ones, you hold on to them. I hold on to some of them. Okay, I'm looking right at my Jack Sparrow DX06, and I plan on keeping him. Okay, but I got rid of a lot of old figures. I got rid of my Bo-Katan. I got rid of my Moff Gideon. Why? Aries, you got rid of your Moff Gideon from Mandalorian Season 1? Yes. Aries, you got rid of your Bo-Katan from The Mandalorian Season 2? Yes. Why? Because I don't think they're going to be worth anything. And I know they're going to be coming out with a Katie Sackhoff. And I knew that they were coming out with another Giancarlo Esposito that is going to be far superior. And actually, I didn't want to have to let go of it for peanuts, but I did. I had to let go of that. Moff Gideon was $10 bucks, $25. I don't know what it was. Bo-Katan. Did I sell her for $175, $150? I don't remember. Okay? But the new one they'll come out with will blow that one away. And it'll have rolling eyes function, just like the new Moff Gideon has rolling eyes function. They keep getting better. And for me to be able to buy, because I really like I love Star Wars, for instance. It's not good enough for me to have the second best Han Solo head sculpt. I'm not going to be satisfied with my New Hope Han Solo. I'm just not. There's not a chance in hell I'll be. I need the Return to the Jedi one. And I need the new ones that they're coming out with. And some characters like him, I'll probably hold on to my old ones. Some other characters like Bo-Katan or Moff Gideon, Kylo Ren, older Rey figures, am I going to hold on to them just to have them? No, I'm going to get rid of them. So I could get the Artisan Kylo Ren with rolling eyes function. I'm probably going to look way more like Adam Driver. Can you imagine what they're going to do with Daisy Ridley? And yeah, I was going to buy some Black Widow and, some Scarlet Witch figures from the past. but they look like toys compared to the Artisan Black Widow that they're going to be coming out with. They look like toys compared to the Scarlet Witch that they're going to be coming out with, the Artisan one. And even if you get the sculpted version of the Elizabeth Olsen Scarlet Witch, it's just next level now. Just like the figures you're seeing on this screen. And you are starting to see figures in the secondary market, not all of them. And we're going to be diving into in future episodes which ones are holding their value, which ones are not, more. And you're going to be seeing the return of the market show. I mean, the market chart to go with the market show. And when the market chart comes back, at 6scalecantina.com, you'll also be seeing that in the season premiere, going to be happening next year. So be ready for it, of Ancient Action Figures, which is really the Ares Tarrington show, but we're going to be calling it Ancient Action Figures. We can't wait for that to come back, because a lot of work's going to be going into that. And look, if you like all this and you know what you're listening to here, you just may want to consider joining my channel. So for me to put up the market chart and for me to do all the research that I do, if you want to support me, you could support me through joining the channel. All you got to do is click on the little join button, and you can see everything that it comes with too, because you should check out a lot of the content. This is the newest episode, and I did a shelf study of Rooted Hair, not only with the Wonder Woman, and but with the Gandalf I got, the Aragorn, and this Artisan Joker. How are they holding up in my climate-controlled environment on my shelf with playing with some of this stuff or moving it around? How is it holding up? How's that Wonder Woman holding up? You know, so check this out. And I appreciate it. Just join the little join button. Remember, I don't always spill my coffee and then wash it down with wizard juice, but when I do it right here at the 6 Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Ancient action figure theorists watching across the universe, we hope you've enjoyed Season 1 of the Ares Tarrington Show right here at the 6 Scale Cantina. Get ready for Season 2 of the Ares Tarrington Show. We're going to get more experts, more ancient action figure theorists, and we're going to go on location to the craziest parts of the universe. The market show is coming back along with 6 Scale Raw as we move into production for Season 2 of the Ares Tarrington Show. Stay thirsty, baby.